Yo, welcome back to the Red Corner. Welcome to the very first Man United episode. That's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about. That's what this channel is about. Remember, we said we are Man United biased. I'm out here with Clem and with James. What's happening, gents?
How's it, man? How's it?
All good, all good. What's up? What's up?
Good, bro. New stadium. Who this? New stadium. Who this?
I suppose it's taken us this long to finally have like some good content to speak about, you know?
Hey, bro. You know, let's just straight out the door. Let's have a look at let's have a look at some of these things. Let me just let me move it around. Let's have a look at the stadium. Where do we start? In fact, you know what? Let's take ourselves out of here for a bit. So this is the area outside of this thing. The plan with the stadium is that it's a whole precinct, and you're gonna have the new 100,000 seater stadium, but around it you're gonna have all sorts of things, restaurants, like stores, like it's gonna be concerts there. It's gonna be all sorts of stuff. I think this looks like there's like a concert. Is that a little band there in the middle playing there or whatever?
Yeah. Lots of public space and stuff. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice concert. Yeah.
Wembley of the North. Wembley of the North.
Wembley of the North, bro. Yeah, this is gonna be so proper, bro.
The guys who are doing this is actually the same guys who did Wembley itself. So it's like he bought in the real guy.
Yeah. Check here, they've got a young outdoor cinema here. Like, I mean, imagine, bruh, like early kickoff, we beat Arsenal 8-2. Afterwards, you bring the kids here, you watch a young movie after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, looks good. Looks good.
I like the score there. The 3-0 up there.
Yeah.
This is dope. So this is meant to it was made in the image of the trident, the Man United trident.
Yeah.
This is dope, man.
Nah, it's really dope. It's really dope.
Let's just go through here quickly. Yes, man. This is
But you know which part of the propaganda I really bought into, man, and like the way both Jim and the architects were talking about how, you know, Man United is the biggest club in the world, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that understanding of like, this is it, you know, like it has to like blow everything out of the water. It has to be, you know, he was talking about how we don't have a Bernabeu in the Premier League, you know, and this is it. You know, there's no Camp Nou in the Premier League. So you need something at that scale. So
no, for sure.
Definitely.
Now, it's gonna be proper, bro. It's gonna be proper. I mean, like we've all been to Old Trafford, and like, you know, we've walked down that iconic tunnel, and you know, we've been and sat in the dugout there, and like, you know, but this is just next level, bro.
On another level,
yeah. Can't wait.
What I didn't read is, are they demolishing the old stadium, or because that wasn't quite clear.
Yeah. It took a few guys. People weren't clear initially, but what I saw in the end, I think this is BBC saying. So the plan is they say this project is gonna take about 5 years. The start date, they're waiting on the UK government, because the UK government is developing the surrounding area, and then they're doing the stadium, which is like the centerpiece. So they're ready to start as soon as possible. They're waiting for the government. So they're saying that it will be done by 2030. They're aiming for 2032, the absolute latest. So what they're saying is, while they're busy building, it's a 5-year build, while they're busy building, we're going to continue playing at Old Trafford. And then when the new stadium is done, then they're going to flatten Old Trafford. And we don't know what they're gonna do with it, but knowing our guys, they're probably gonna try and monetize it somehow. So as much as they might flatten the stadium, like, you know, bit of it or whatever, maybe they might keep like the trophy room, the museum there. You never know. Like, try, you know, you gotta cash in on that nostalgia, bro. You gotta cash in somehow.
Yeah, a little monument to the past there.
Yeah, man, and we've got the Trinity Stadium, the Trinity statue out there, man. Iconic.
Yeah, they could use it for the women's team. but I guess the women's team probably will play at the new stadium. But yeah, that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, that's what people were saying at the beginning, and then the women were like, "So you want us to play in the stadium that's got rats and that's leaking and all sorts of stuff?" So for being politically correct, the women need to play in the new stadium as well.
Yeah.
Well, just correct in general, actually. But yeah, man. So much has happened, bro, since the last one. So much has happened. There was the Sir Jim bombshell, which we'll speak about. There's Arsenal, which we'll speak about. But a lot of people were like, this whole new stadium thing is PR. The protest. We know the protest happened, at the Arsenal game on Sunday. And then next day, bombshell interview. The next day, new stadium announcement. They're like, these guys played a blinder. they were like, these fans, we know them. We just give them one or two shiny things here. They'll get excited and they'll be all
Just pacify them, John.
Yeah, I can imagine them like in the boardroom. They're busy planning. They're like, look at these idiots. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's the new stadium. Sir Jim dropped a bombshell. Gents, you guys watched the interview?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to go for it, Clem, or should I go for it?
No, go for it. Go for it. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I was even telling Tish, it's like I had two takes on it. The first one was, as a fan, I was emotionally angry because it felt like Sir Jim is there protecting the Glazers and not speaking for the fans' interest. But then when I stepped out again and looked at it objectively, it's that thing of, if you are a part-time owner, actually not minority shareholder of Man United, and walked into that interview, what would you actually be saying? You wouldn't be throwing shade at the Glazers as an example, because those are your business partners, right? So in short, it's like the direct questions that needed answers, he was not answering, but then you would understand why. Because the main rage for me, it's that thing of, the club is making so much revenue, cost is going high. You know what the direct cause is. It's the Glazer ownership. And as much as you can mention that, they are 10,000 odd kilometers away and they've hired different people to run the club, the fact is they failed to get the right people to run the club. And they were so, I don't want to say ignorant, but if you really cared about the club, you would have done something about it before letting costs run away and now get a minority shareholder to come in, put his own money in and say, I am digging this club out of the mud. For me, it still speaks volumes to say, Glazers out. That's what I'm still getting out of that session.
Yeah. Yes, those guys are trash, man. Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, those guys are
Bruh.
those guys are hectic, man.
Worms, bro, leeches.
Yeah.
Bruh.
I think an interesting point that came from the overlap one was just the fact that we've never had the Glazers go like in front of a camera for the years they've been at the club. Not a single person has taken any level of like accountability, I suppose. There's that word. He's like accountable. He's like showing up and like answering questions, which is dope.
Yeah. No, it's dope, man. It's dope. I think like when I look at it, just to James's point earlier, I think that fan view, because obviously we know the fans are like supercharged and we're angry. We've been angry at the Glazers for years, and you want him, he's not gonna go and fuck the Glazers in public, it's kind of like, I think for me, if you listen to the subtext, like, how when you write business emails and you're like, as per my last email, like he used that kind of level of throwing shade at the Glazers, but not like outright, because he was using terms like, we inherited this the stuff, and talking about when we got here, things were like whatever. I think that's the business way of saying that. Jets, the previous guys, but I suppose if you still got ambitions to hopefully maybe buy more of the club or whatever, you can't antagonize the people who own the majority of the club to be and also it's also weird, like think about it, this guy owns a quarter of the club and they're allowing him to run it at the moment. We know why. They also want him to be the human shield. So it's not like they're being saints or whatever the case is. But maybe he's also thinking, hey, I don't want to jeopardize that. I want to be able to be in control. And if I start a war against these guys, they might take back control, and then it's a whole thing. And now you've got your money in there, and there's no, So it's a complex one. Eh?
But again, it's a direct contrast because minority shareholder coming in to ensure that the club has money, because we would be broke by, he said, about November, December.
That's crazy. When he said
majority, but the majority shareholder is taking out money or has been taking out money, and with that leverage buyout, it's like almost $1 billion of interest we paid. Yeah. So it's like, guys.
It's messed up. It's like just some of the stuff that you're saying. Like you're saying that we would have ran out of money, without all these cuts and stuff that he's saying.
Yeah,
we would have ran out of money by November. There will be no money to operate on the daily because we are spending more than our revenue. Long 100%. And short of it.
Yeah.
There's that whole thing. The thing that annoyed me a bit is that this summer we're still going to pay 89 million on transfers that have already happened. We're still paying for Onana. We're still paying installments for Sancho, for Rasmus, for Anthony, for Casemiro. And it's like you look at those guys. Okay, Onana is a first-team player, but we're side-eyeing him. Sancho's playing for Chelsea, and we're paying half of his salary. Rasmus seems like a failed experiment here. Anthony is playing in Spain now. We're subsidizing his salary. Casemiro, I mean, the club don't want him there. He doesn't have the legs or whatever to keep up with, and he doesn't fall part of Ruben's plans. Ruben is playing him because he's in a dire situation. Remember when Ruben had people, Casemiro was holding bench the whole time. So it's like you're still going to spend 89 million on these guys, and then you still have to get people to actually make the squad stronger. It's wild, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's wild.
It's a good thing I listened to the interview, because when you read about it, it's like actually it doesn't make sense. But then when he was explaining it, it's that thing of this summer we are 90 million down because of that.
Yeah.
Before we get into the summer transfers.
Yeah, man.
It's just wild. Because again, that point he kept on mentioning that recruitment has been poor. It's been so poor that we signed Sancho, who is at Chelsea, and we're still paying his salary as well. And we're still going to pay a lump sum.
That's crazy.
Just on that, I read something disheartening just before we came on here. Chelsea, in the deal that the Sancho deal, Chelsea actually have an option to send Sancho back to United. There's just a penalty clause. They say they'll have to pay a heavy penalty if they don't sign him permanently, and they send him back. I don't know, guesstimating, maybe it's a couple of mil or whatever the case is. But the fact that this thing is not it's not a done deal yet. They can still send him back if they choose to. That's concerning. That's concerning.
Yeah. But then, it's so tricky with these loan deals, because now, in that case, the relationship is broken, right? At Man United, now,
Mr. Freedom Fighter.
You've screwed yourself over now, because it's your relationship, at your home club is broken. Your loan club might actually say, "Nah, we cool," and then you're back to square one.
Sanchez just such an ill-advised.
Young
man. It feels like his agents and his management are as childish as he is. Either that, or he doesn't listen to them and he just does his own thing. Either way, it's just
yeah. And he did show glimpses of the potential. He could have made it to the top, but anyway. Something else I thought was interesting in the interview was his assessment of the way he spoke about Amarim's performance and the way he kind of chose to express that. I thought it was interesting. In the same way, you don't want to throw your co-shareholders under the bus. You also don't want to throw the manager under the bus, but you also don't want to like treat people like fools, and you want to like acknowledge that like I see what you're seeing, but these are the reasons. I thought the way he kind of approached that was interesting. He did speak about look at the squad, you talk about look at the squad, look at the players who are not there, look at how Ruben is managing that group of players. And so I'm like, oh, okay, no, that's an insightful kind of like take on the whole process.
For anyone who may didn't watch it, what he said was that if you look at all the players that are unavailable to Ruben, right? Whether it's through injury or guys who are loaned out, you've got Rashi, big piece, he's out. You've got Anthony, he's in Spain. You've got Luke Shaw and Mount who are unavailable. So he was basically saying, if you look at the wages of all those guys who are not available for the club versus the guys who actually are available and are playing, he's like, the wages of the guys who are available are on par with like a mid-table, he said lower table or like lower mid-table team. He says like the wages of the guys who are actually playing you can compare them to Forest and to Everton in terms of that, which is quite interesting because you think about it. Sancho's hopefully gonna go on a permanent. Rashi is likely gonna go on a permanent. Anthony, there's a strong chance he's gonna go on a permanent. And then you look at guys like Lindelof and Ericsson who are gonna go end of the season. We're hoping we get Casemiro off. And then you're like, our wage bill used to be a massive problem at United, but like you can see the light, you can see it's coming together, like slowly and painfully, but like it's coming together.
Yeah, that's true. Different take of it, but it is factual. Probably another club would say you're saying something, but everyone has the same problem. Spurs would probably say we've got the same problem, etc., etc., in terms of players not available. But again, you're looking at it in a different light. But in terms of Ruben's performance, and I guess he also didn't answer the Ten Hag portion. Well, he sort of answered it, but anyhow, when I'm looking at what he mentioned about Ruben's performance thus far, guys, for me, it's like the signs have always been there. Ruben doesn't have the tools. I want to say, it's like I want to say the performance also, like what he likened Ten Hag to say, erratic. I still think Ruben's teams have been erratic. It could have been players not available. Ten Hag can use the same excuse. But the short gist of it, it's that thing of, as much as we look at the facts, to me, I still feel like results have not been good enough. We can give 1,000,001 excuses, but the fact is not good enough for us to be where we are right now. Ten Hag had the similar issues last season. It was not good enough for where we finished. For me now, it's like even worse. And I can still point to last season to say Ten Hag, same problems.
Yeah, I think the thing with just Ten Hag and versus Ruben, why Ruben gets the, I suppose the sympathy is that, well, outside of the came in mid, I think though that is a mitigating thing. You came in the mid, but not just you came in mid, but like everybody knew that like your system was completely different, right? That was one of the reasons why they didn't want to get it. And you look at Liverpool as well; they're also like, hey, this guy. And their squad is in much better shape than ours, but they were worried that this guy's style is completely different, right? So you look at that, and then you come in busy part of the season, no training, all sorts of stuff or whatever. For me, the Ten Hag thing is because this squad, which is not good enough, has your fingerprints on it. Like if you look at like guys in our squad, you've got Casemiro, that's Ten Hag. You've got Anthony, that's Ten Hag. You've got Onana, who's knocking us out single-handedly of the Champions League or whatever. That's Ten Hag. In fact, the club, as much as De Gea had a terrible end of his term, remember the club had offered De Gea a new deal on reduced wages, which De Gea had actually accepted. And then Ten Hag was like, no, pull the plug. And then you did that, spent money on Onana, and now we are worse off. There's and then like you look at there's a whole bunch of other people that Ten Hag brought in. So like it's the majority of the squad was Ten Hag's more than it wasn't. And or let's say the starting 11, to be fair, the majority of the starting 11 was Ten Hag's more than it wasn't. So it's like you've had the time and we're still like a bit sketchy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like let me bring back the past, because just one element of that, I just remember, was it Richard Arnold and Ed Woodward, that first season of Ten Hag, how they managed the transfer window. For me, that was like, okay, disaster has happened. How do you recover from that disaster? And I guess that's when Ten Hag signings came in. And I just remember that summer, Mount, yes, Mason Mount, like, why would we be signing Mount? For me, again, disaster. But
and this is his second window. This is his second summer, the Mount thing.
So
and they said that we will not Mount is the number one priority. We will not pursue any other signings until we secure Mount. That's what they said. That's what they said.
I'm trying to think, was it him or was it Arnold thing? Because guys, who in their right minds signs Mount? Maybe it's just me. But at the time,
50 plus 5, 1 year left on your deal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping Mount comes good, man. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know how to think about that guy, man. This is crazy.
He's barely played in 2 seasons. He has barely played.
That's the thing.
It's wild. But anyways, we talk about Ruben and all this stuff a lot. I think for me, the big thing that I took about it, and I saw Berada also had some comments around Ruben as well. My big thing is at least these guys are giving him some level of backing. What I didn't like was things happening the way they're happening, and then all these guys are silent. So at least they've said something, right? And so Jim leads us to believe that Ruben is safe, and we go again next season. So that's good. I think as Ruben, I'd just be like, at least this guy said something in the public domain. And
But then similar to the relationship with the owners, I'm sure the conversation with Ruben is probably different from what you say in front of a camera. You know, I wonder how different it is. I'm sure.
Yeah. Look, we were just talking about how ruthless Jim is and whatever. I'm sure there's some home truths that they tell Ruben as well. But like,
I sometimes worry about the whole unfolding of Ruben having a bit of a free pass this season. It just means that the pressure that he's supposed to be feeling now is kicked down the line to the beginning of next season.
It'll be nuts. It'll be nuts. It's gonna be nuts.
It's basically just like a diversion kind of situation where it's like, next season, I think we all know what's up type thing.
Yeah. But it's like one of those next season, bro, you better coach your way out of this. You'll have at least some more people who fit your profile. Yeah. And like, I don't think anybody's expecting him to challenge or like, or whatever. But like, in fact, there was a thing that came out. They said United for the next 4 years are budgeting on a Europa League budget. So that's telling. It says that it tells me that Ruben doesn't even have to qualify for Champions League next season. He just needs to. I think if he doesn't achieve Europa next season, maybe there's a problem there. But like, yeah. But anyways, the other thing they said is that in 3 to 5 years, we will be the most profitable club in the world again. And I think that's real. Man United makes a crap load of money. We're like one of the biggest revenue, at least top 3 in the world. The problem is just that we've got this anchor that's pulling us down. So that revenue is not being realized. But I mean, with all the stuff that they're doing, and I know it's easy for us to say because we're out here, real people are losing their jobs there, and it's like it's a hectic thing, but like it's happening anyways, right? So at the end of it, hopefully, we'll start seeing a bit more money clocking into the bank and like being available for use by the club. And then, bro, no more PSR, bro. Like, we can't just be like, you think we make so much money and we're worrying about this PSR thing, man. This is not where we should be, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So back to the stadium. I forgot one of the things that I loved. They were like uh, with the trident stuff. I think they said the tallest one was going to be like 200 meters up, and they said that it can be seen from, I think they said 37 point something k's away. They were like, it could even be seen from like the outskirts of Liverpool. And I was like, yeah, that
That's
they were
true.
probably just flexing there. They were
Yeah,
like, yeah, we want those guys to see the glory
yeah,
when they're driving in their own town.
yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, but no, that's that. I think to close off of the interview, do you guys see it as PR from Sir Jim, or do you guys like hear what he's saying and you feel like you understand a little bit more about some of the stuff that's been going on?
I think he
Um,
I, I think he managed the balance. I think it's a bit of both, but it just tips over to being genuine and like sincere. But it is you can see that he did kind of do some. He did he did have probably like a little bit
It's
some remorse.
working us. He's
Yeah,
working.
but it does for me. It does tip over to being sincere. Just only
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because we've been so abused and used to so much trash to actually get some content from like
yeah,
ownership level is like, oh, okay, this is new.
yeah,
yeah, what I find also interesting is the Dan Ashworth saga, how he was explaining it or managing it. And yeah, it gave you a bit good insights of the type of man he is, because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
main answer was chemistry. Let's just call it chemistry.
Let's
yeah.
just call it chemistry.
And he's like, we messed up. Sorry. That's
Yeah, like we were just saying before, the unofficial official story is, or the rather the official unofficial story is that there were personality clashes with Barada and them. These guys are all like ruthless guys, like results, getting stuff done. And Dan Ashworth was the let's give everybody a hug. We're nice guys and like whatever. And they were like, chief, this is not gonna work here. This thing's a mess here. We need people who can make the hard decisions. So they didn't feel like you could make the hard decisions. That's but I mean at least they cut their ties early. So like at least, like he said himself, we looked at it and we knew it would be bad optics and we could have drawn it out. But like for me it's like let's rather just fix it and move on.
move
We'll
on.
deal with the fallout and how that
Yeah.
goes.
I wonder if it's because they learned quickly about Ten Hag, made the wrong choice, cut it. Then maybe
Yeah.
Dan, let's just
Yeah.
cut it.
Yeah. Did you hear? He mentioned that like the fans had a part to play in that, because I don't know, I think it was in the overlap one. If not, it might have been in the BBC one. But he was saying that like yes, he said yes. Berardi had just been in the job for like 3 days and Wilcox for like 3 weeks and stuff like that. And he mentioned somewhere that yeah, and the fans wanted to keep him and all sorts of stuff and like just all of this stuff
Mm.
made the perfect storm essentially kind of thing. It's like I was wondering like were they just like we just got through here, we don't want to piss off the fans now, we just got through the door, we want to keep them on side.
Yeah.
So, Jim, if you're watching this, the fans know nothing. Half of this fan base are crackheads. Don't listen. Don't listen to the fans, bruh. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, but I guess then it looked like a logical decision to make, because I remember at that time I was like, Berada hasn't started, Dan hasn't started, Jason just got in here. This guy just won the FA Cup, and we've had poor management before. Do we give him the chance, yes or no? And I remember a piece of me just felt like, guys, if you go lose 7-0 to Liverpool, I think you've lost us already. So it's just a matter of time. We are just bleeding it out. So
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing, man. People were writing open letters to Ineos, and people were like, just they were doing their thing, bro. They were doing the most. They were doing the most. Yeah, it was one of the times where like I always like the match going fans because they always they back
manager.
people, they back players, they back the manager, they back whatever. Although like with the new breed, with the youngins, you can feel that it's starting to change. Case in point, when Xerxes got booed, I think that's something that would have never have happened with the old guard of the fans and stuff. So there is a slight change and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I've always loved that loyal, passionate fans, but I was annoyed with them after that FA Cup. I wanted that guy to go, and these fans were like backing the manager. I was like, guys, this is not the time. It's not the time to back them.
Sure. Yeah, but it's a good thing Xerxes' name was sung after that. Was it against Newcastle? Disaster class. Yes.
Yeah,
He was crap that game.
yeah. But I
But now
remember,
he's
right?
balling.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
coming. He's coming.
of most of the players in the squad, I think he's the one guy you can pick and say he is moving forward, like match by match, he's evolving.
Yeah.
He's getting better as he goes along.
Yeah, man. Would have been such a lovely thing if he had scored that back heel against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Let's actually just segue into that game.
Man, David Raya actually saved these guys, man.
Bruh.
He actually ended up stepping
Dude.
up and like working overtime, man.
Dude.
Bruh. There was the Mazraoui chance. There was the Xerxes chance.
Yeah.
There was a Bruno chance as well.
The Bruno chance, Rasmus, that guy, bro. I don't know what he wants. He wants to shoot when like he's when he's like 2 yards in front of the in front. Yeah, suppose it's a no confidence thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you guys kind of what takeaways do you have after that Arsenal game? How do you think about the point?
Guys, I think it's been a common theme. When you play or when Ruben's team plays the big guys, we play quite well actually. It's like there's no fear. And it's always been the theme, I guess, for the longest of times where if we play a team when we play against a team we think we're gonna dominate, the opposite happens. But when we are playing against a stronger team, they for some reason come alive. And I just remember was the Liverpool game where was it Lissandro who was angry saying that we are capable, but the consistency is not there. So for me, I knew we were gonna step up in this game. As usual, first half we were flat, but second half we came alive. So same thing over and over again for me.
Yeah, it's annoying, man. And that's like these guys are fragile mentally. They're fragile. It's like they thrive in the being the underdog, and then when you need to stand on business, and we're like, okay, big man, show us what you're about. Then they crumble. And it goes to say like, and it feels like we've been watching the same game every season. We start off so. On a good day, we weather the beginning storm and then we grow into the game. The minute we concede, everything, it's like everybody's just like they just destroyed. It's almost feel like they think that okay, we've conceded, it's a wrap, we're not gonna score, so it's a wrap. And it's like, dude, how can you have that kind of mentality, man?
But then that whole formula then doesn't work because Arsenal should have smashed us in the first half, and then we would have been out of the game. So you can't afford to keep having those slow starts. Game of two halves. It's like the same story. Game of two halves, first half, second half, woke up. You're gonna come across the team that's gonna smash you like proper,
I don't know that we can coach this out. For me, I think people just need to leave. And you need to get like guys who are tough mentally. Like because it's like if someone and you need to get enough people who are tough. Because otherwise, bro, you can get someone who's coming in who just like assimilate to the culture and like is that whole thing of rotten potatoes, or whatever, spoils the whole bag.
I must start with Dalo, please. Can we just get a right back? Please.
Yeah.
The rest I
But-
can see, but let's start with the right back.
Yeah.
And then maybe Onana and one. But let's start with the right back, guys. We can't. And he's always fit. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Annoyingly. Yeah. But like, yeah, man, I'm disappointed, man. We should have won that game. We should have won it. Like, I don't know, man. Arsenal have this thing where when we play against them and they'll have all the ball possession and they'll do all the stuff, but like I just like it's like when I'm watching them, I can like call their bluff. I'm like, you guys are not gonna do anything. Like you are just like you just all these tippy tappy. Like you look at Odegaard. Maybe he's a perfect personification of them. Odegaard there in the middle of the pitch. Dennis Bergkamp, bro. His first touch, crazy. He does all this stuff. You're like, yo, this guy has skills. But as we progress up the pitch, and it has to turn into something, nothing happens. Nothing happens, and it feels like Arsenal, bro. I don't know if it's because of all the injuries. Maybe Saka doesn't have that. They don't have that creative spark in Saka or like directors. I don't know, but like it's just
Arsenal also have serious problems, man. How do you go from scoring 7 during the week to that kind of performance? It's also unacceptable for them.
I actually called it with other guys. I called it. I said Arsenal scored all their goals.
Yeah, finish the allocation.
They must hope they didn't finish the allocation for the month.
Yeah. But that's the thing, man. Like they PSV was actually stupid. That like the Arsenal didn't have to score 7 goals that night. They just like they decided that they're gonna be open and they're gonna go for it and all sorts of stuff. Why would you do that? And maybe they thought, these guys don't have a striker. We'll just whatever. You need to know your role, bro. Know your place. You played the Dutch league. You are just humble yourself and like come right. Yeah. So,
but when you look at also just the player performances, you talk about players needing to leave, mentalities. I do think De Ligt has brought in some sort of like fight and like grit at the back. Like he really he goes into tackles. He's I'm enjoying like his energy.
100%.
He's settling in.
Yeah. He's been good. The media's trying to paint it out like he's a flop, but no, De Ligt has been good. He's been De Ligt, Mazraoui, he's been good. Oh man, 1 million Great British Pounds, Aiden Heaven, that guy looks like a player there. He looks like a player.
Yeah,
he'll come good as well.
He'll come good, bro. And like what? If he does it, bro, he was £1 million, bro. £1 million. You see, if Ineos can keep pulling off this type of business, then because I mean it's low risk, high reward.
And these are the type of deals Ole was trying to make before, and no one was backing him.
Yeah, I remember he wanted to get Caicedo for 500k. He wanted to get Haaland. He wanted to get who was Bellingham under? Was it under Ole as well?
It was
but
Bellingham as well.
Yeah, but there like it was Richard Arnold who did it, because I remember they wanted Fergie to chat to Bellingham and give him the tour, and Richard Arnold was all like, "Oh no, we're trying to establish the new regime," and they blocked Fergie from talking to Bellingham. Yeah. Like, why would you block Fergie from talking to a dude on a tour of the club? So they screwed it up. But yeah.
And then also Bruno's performance as well. The week before there was that Roy Keane. I watched that episode of the Overlap where Roy Keane was just jumping, was like diving into Bruno, man, like hectic. And it's like, again, it's like that thing of like the legends and the criticism. He really has, all his downside apart. He's really stepped up for the team, man, and he's done so much for United this season, and he deserves credit.
Roy Keane is a legend, but like he's showing vibes of being that uncle who's awkward at family events. He's showing glimpses of like of that, like, bro. Just relax, uncle. Like,
Yeah,
let's and after some time, I think we need to just make sure that uncle leaves the scene because he's gonna embarrass us. Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think these guys forget that the world has changed. Like, I get it, and it's not nice saying that about a legend because they know. I mean, these are the guys we were watching when we were growing up, and these are the guys who gave us the glory days.
mm.
So yes, I get it. They know the standards of the club.
Yeah, they built the
They
legacy,
they
etc.
built the legacy and all sorts of stuff. But like sometimes it's like they think that we're still in 1990, early 2000s, and the world has changed a little bit, and
Mm,
they just need to, yeah.
mm. Yeah,
All of our pundits are shit. All of them.
yeah,
All of them.
yeah. And Bruno's gotten lots of like lots of applause after the game, the talk of like we need 5 Brunos. I'm like, yeah, dude, imagine where we'd be. Imagine where we'd
Bruh.
be with like, that sounds dope, so
Yeah, bruh. Quality, and he's never injured, that guy, bruh. Like, I
yeah,
remember, like, it took like 3 4 years into his United career for him to miss a game through injury, and then I think it ended up being one game as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that guy.
You know, the funny thing is, literally after the game, I just remember seeing one thing about Bruno. Sky Sports were just saying, "Oh, but the free kick, it wasn't 10 yards, it was 12 yards." And they were actually doing it behind the scenes to show what 11 yards look like. And I'm like, what more excuses do you need?
That
And
is the most Arsenal thing that I've ever seen. Arsenal fans, they like to like nitpick on all these weird things, like
yeah.
that Thai guy from AFTV. I don't know if you guys have seen his stuff.
the guy in
You,
spectacles, right?
yeah, the guy's spectacles with the Arsenal
Yeah.
headphones and all the Arsenal. Like, he'll talk about everything, bruh. Yeah, no, but the wind was blowing and like it whatever, whatever. But like, bruh, like his excuses are wild, bruh.
Yeah,
And that felt like part of that.
yeah,
Yeah, and there was someone as well in, is it AFTV, before Bruno took the free kick, was like, days are gone where in this position you'll be scared because it used to be David Beckham. Now they've got Bruno.
Yeah.
And next thing you know,
Yeah, and, it was a good free kick, and also, like, I mean, there was that free kick, and in the was it Ipswich, where all of our goals came through from set pieces.
yes,
Uh,
Ipswich.
yeah, and Bruno scored another free kick as well this season. I can't remember what game it was and whatever, but like
Yeah, it
it's
should be
it's
recent, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
but
it
like
was
it's
Everton.
Everton, yeah. So I'm just
But
like, okay.
I don't count the Everton one because it's Pickford, Mr. T-Rex.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. But another takeaway from this Arsenal game, actually, I was not scared of the corners at all. Like, and I don't know if it's a case of like Arsenal fell off on set pieces because I don't know if they've scored a set piece goal anytime soon, anytime
yeah,
recently,
yeah,
or whether like the guys have just got out of their heads and were just like, we're gonna defend this thing because it felt like it was a mental thing. It felt like the guys were defeated mentally with this whole set piece thing. They drank the Kool-Aid and they were like, hey, these guys are hectic and like whatever. But like when we actually just defended, we can defend them.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we're not seeing set piece coach anymore from Arsenal. He's not getting so much airtime. So I think ever since he stopped being a celebrity there, they've kind of fallen off. But yeah, no, that's a good point, man. Like we were handling them, and that's I suppose that's like a sign of progression, right? If you think of the
Yeah,
game early in the season
yeah,
where we were just sixes and sevens,
yeah,
and then you arrive now later on in the season, and we're handling it.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So yeah, man, it's dope. We're hearing the right things from Sir
Yeah.
Jim. I don't know if we can say we turned the corner,
Mm.
because I mean our game before Arsenal was Sociedad, but Sociedad is just crap, man. Like we should have been 4-5 up by the time whatever, but like. Should we just abandon this Rasmus thing and just start Cheeto? Just we can't start him in Europe, unfortunately. But like just in general, should we just start Cheeto?
Xerxes fine. It's just Garnacho that I'm worried about. Where today is hot, like Arsenal. He had an excellent game, but then the next game, back to square one. So
But
that's my
what I saw against Arsenal, he played on the right a lot more than he's been playing, and
yeah.
maybe playing on the right forces him to behave differently because now Canacho is right-footed, right? So
Yes.
he needs to, when he's on the left, he can just cut in and try shoot. That guy, first of all, Canacho is a young guy. I know he was in school recently. I think Garnacho uh, skipped all of his geometry and his physics lessons because the angles that this guy shoots at and the things that he expects the ball to do. Like sometimes it's like, my guy, there's no way you're going to score from this angle. What are you
Yeah.
doing? And then he shoots, side netting. And it's like, my guy, like, what were you expecting, bro?
Yeah.
Just freaking pass the ball.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially against Sociedad as well. Like he had so many shots to the side net, and you were like, "What are you doing? Are you
Like
crossing or are you shooting?"
yeah. So maybe playing on the right,
Mm.
it puts him out of his comfort zone, and he's like, okay, I have to pass here, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is.
But he had a good game on the weekend though. He
Proper
he had a
game,
good one. Yeah.
and all around defensive, like just he was doing everything. It was all action. It was all action.
Mm. But I don't know. I think maybe your question does deserve an answer, man. Do you pull the plug on Hoyland? I suppose for now Xerxes is a good option, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
uh,
So exceed Cheetah off the bench, off from the bench. Yeah. that
yeah,
that works. We'll see. But anyways, to wrap up, we've got the return leg coming, Old Trafford.
Mm.
What's today? Tuesday. On Thursday. What are you guys feeling? You guys saw Sociedad. The one change, Zubimendi is probably going to be back in the Sociedad squad. I think he was ill, so he'll probably be back. But after having seen that performance, what do you guys think?
He's gonna make a difference. Fortunately, it'll be at Old Trafford, but he's going to make a difference. It's just a matter of I'm trying to remember their attacking players. I know Kubo was not at the racing course yesterday in the last game, and he is quite good. But I know Zubimendi will be a difference. I'm just trying to remember, is Ugarte back and for the next game? Because probably that's the counter to it.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think he'll play. Ruben said we'll see. He's still a 50-50, but I think he'll play. I think he'll play.
Yeah, we should win. For me, it's a standard win. It's the only hope we have this season because other than this Europa League, there's nothing else. Based on what we saw last, we should win. Zubimendi would make a difference, yes, but guys,
Yeah.
we should be winning this game.
But maybe Zubimendi making them stronger will work in our favors because clearly, clearly we want teams that are a little bit stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's interesting that you mention Ugart. I get so stressed when I see Casemiro and Ericsson in the same midfield, man. I get so stressed, man. So it's also interesting to remember that we do have players out, and we do
Yeah,
have guys
yeah,
who are going to come back in eventually,
yeah,
even in the Europa League run.
yeah,
If you just manage to kind of get past these kind of rounds and these fixtures where we are still injury hit, and then and
yeah,
Europa League is the competition, man. So United definitely have to be trying to handle business on
yeah.
Thursday, and then who knows with the Europa League.
Yeah, Toby Colley is back as well. He had a little run out on Arsenal. He seems okay. Yeah, so hopefully, man, we will finish the rest of the season okay-ish. I don't even want to say strong. All
But we
in
have
Europa League.
we have it's a tough run of fixtures, eh? I think there's Forest in there, Newcastle, City in the league. So it's quite a tough few weeks. But considering where we are, there's nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, maybe that's what we need, man. Maybe that's what we need. Yeah. With that, I think let's call it here. Let's just do score predictions quickly for Thursday, and I think let's wrap it up. James, what do you think? We're tied 1-1, right? Yeah, 1-1. Going into the second leg.
A nervy 1-0.
Nervy 1-0. Cool.
Are we? I would say a nervy 2-1. You know, I don't know if we're keeping clean sheets yet. You know,
Nah.
You know, a nervy 2-1.
I think it's gonna be nervy, even though the score doesn't say that. I think we'll win 3-1. But it won't be a simple 3-1 by any stretch of the imagination. It'll be a classic United like stress, high blood pressure, 3-1. Yeah, with that, we're out. Guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff. Yeah, we hope to be doing a lot more just straight Man United content, reacting to all the latest stuff that's happening in the world of Man United. We'll also be back with some of our usual shows. So yeah, man, check us out on socials. Like the video, share. Again, like we said, we're out. Peace.
Cheers.